All right. Okay, let's take something to sit on. So I was saying in the last class we had, I can't remember if it got recorded or not, but anyway, and most of you were there. What I was saying was that my personal definition of an advanced practitioner is somebody who knows when they need to use props. And that's, that's just knowing your body. And once you get to know the poses too, as you guys, most of you do, unless I throw in some crazy Johanna creative stuff, you never know. But most of the time, if you have a sense of your own body, your physicality, maybe something you're dealing with, okay, maybe I need to use a block and maybe I need to sit on a prop. So that's my preamble for class today. Know what you need and offer it to ourselves right here in class together. All right, let's start with your palms up, even out. If you're in that place where you are not sure what's happening, you can lift them up. And if you feel like I just need to get grounded, but also be here, just place those palms down. So whatever it is, I'm going to go with the half and half. And we're also in the half moon, the light and the dark. Take a big breath in. Breathe out through your mouth. Let's do that one more time. Big breath in. Breathe out through your mouth. Allow your eyes to close, your shoulders to soften, your chin to bow, your fingers to curl, your smile or the corners of your mouth to turn up. Take a few breaths in your space, in your silence, in your presence, in your practice. Great gratitude for having a body and the space and the time and the wherewithal to get on your mat. Take a nice big inhale, lift yourself tall. And as you exhale, bring these palms together in front of your heart space. Bow your chin once again. With great reverence for all that you offer and all that you bring and all that you are. All your life experiences that have brought you to this moment. And to the great unknown of what lies ahead. And we embrace it all. And also at this time, just feeling into those who we're practicing with. Offering your friends, each other, our great support. We are in this together. On your next inhale, lengthen tall, lift your chin. Exhale your breath through your mouth. And we'll have a good practice and call ourselves home 3 times. Inhale. Feeling into the resonance of your vibrational energy. Releasing your hands to your thighs, lift your chin, and open your eyes. Okay, guys. Okay, we're going to start in child's pose. And before we do, I'm just going to we were playing yoga at some point during the break, and we were talking about child's pose, and hearts used to right down. He's showing me I can't get my hips close to my knees anymore and all of that and all those great things that come in. And he's like, I don't really like child's pose. So I just want to say this. I know it's not for everybody because if you have knee issues, it might not be for you. So if you need to go on your back and just hug your knees in, do that. Otherwise, if you can be in child's pose for a little bit, do it. And then if you need to come out, you just obviously do that. So we are going to hang out there, not for super long time, but maybe a little longer. And I'll take you in nice and slow as well. So maybe a different way to come in might help. So we'll start with a prop underneath your knees. And you might need to make that higher. If you have some knee stuff, you might even want your bolster. Okay, now knees together, knees apart is definitely a hip thing. So let's start with the knees under the hips and tops of the feet on the floor. And just hang out here for a moment in tabletop. Okay. Just see how this is. Weight in your wrists, weight in your knees. Good. Okay, we're going to take the belly up, drop the head so you're in cat pose. Anchor the feet if you can, and then draw the tailbone down consciously. Okay, one more inhale. Now as you exhale, keep the head drawn down as you start to bring the hips towards the heels, and things are going to shift. Like the spine lengthens, the head's going to lengthen. See if that helps. And maybe bring the knees in a little closer. The hips closer to the heels. And if you need to separate your knees, do that. Okay, from here, if your head's down and you're comfortable, great. And if you're not quite there, then just press the hands, lift the head, walk the hands back half a hand length, and then push down and forward. And that's going to bring you more into this cat pose. You push the hands down and away, the belly tucks, the chin drops, and then keep that, walk your hands back out, and just see if that changes anything. Okay, and then drop in. Let your head drop, your jaw go. Feel into the ankles, the knee joints, the hip joints, the lengthening of the rib cage as your arms are stretched straight ahead. If you can crawl your hands forward a little bit and make it longer, do that. And then wherever you are, release, release, release. Make this an offering, a prayer. Mobility of your body, the fluidity of you, the flow of you. Notice if your teeth are touching, your jaw is clenched at all. Let that go. Okay, so we're going to stay in child's pose if you're okay. I'm just going to have you now hold your arms in so the forehead rests on the hands. So let's go one hand on the other, bring the thumb pads to touch and rest your forehead or up at the hairline on your hands. Take 5 more breaths here. Melt your chest. Whenever you can, get a little heavier. And then press the hands down into the floor. Lift your head a little bit. I'm now going to take the arms back. And so you might just do one at a time or both. See if you can bring the head down. If that's not good or happy for you, make it good and happy. Good. Just take 2 more breaths as you are. Beautiful breathing. Good. Okay. And then bring your hands back. As you inhale, come to hands to knees. Tuck your toes under, and we'll press back to a DFD. Oh, heart just whispered to me, that felt good. So that's great. Good. Here's the thing too, when we've been practicing for a long time, we do develop our habits and our poses the same way we do with our postural habits. So in your downward dog, friends, maybe walk your feet back a little bit more, even just half a foot length, and take them wider if you like, or just be playful, but change your DFD into something a little bit different. Still look at your heels though, you don't want to see any part of your heels. Anchor the heels towards the floor. Feel your body, whatever's happening. Second pose of the practice. One more breath. And you take your belly up, almost like you're doing a cat pose. Good. Okay. And then drop down onto your knees. Tuck your little toes under. Walk the hands back a little bit. Let's lift the toes, the knees up, not the toes. Lift the knees up and take your hips back, almost like a seated child's pose. It is a version of squat, but feel like it's almost the same position. I'm just rocking forward and back a little bit just to get the ankles to move. Coming a little bit forward to back and whatever works for you. Good. Okay, and then just come to rest on your toes. You're just going to take one hand back, whichever one. Lift the other arm up in the air, whichever one. Take your knees over to the side where you have the arm lifted. Drop your hips to the floor. Ta-da, and come to lie down. And if you need something under your head, put it there. Hug your knees into your chest. And let's exaggerate this so it is cat-cow. You bring the knees in, the tailbone lifts. You push them away, and you get a little arch in your low back. You just do that a few times. Breathe. Okay, good. We're going to pause on your back with the knees in your chest, or away for, they don't have to be right in. And take your arms, reach them up to the sky, and just roll your wrists around a couple times. Good. Flex your feet, and change the direction of your wrists. Good. Now turn your palms up like you're holding something really heavy. Spread your fingers and press up like you're pressing something away from you. So my head came up off the floor. Yours might have done that too. Feel the belly coming in, almost like you're doing cat pose. Push up higher if you can. Take one more breath. And then release. Arms out to the side like Shavasana. Let your legs come out. Just do nothing here but breathe. Release, receive. And one more breath, full breath in. Breathe out. Okay, I'm going to keep the left leg where it is. Bring the right knee into your chest, interlace your fingers, hug it in, rock it in and out. And maybe you exaggerate it. So it's like, you're taking it in as tight as you can, and the knee is pressing away, your arms become straight. Do that a few more times here. And we're going to end with the knee pressing away. So the arms are straight. Flex your feet, your foot, or feet, both of them. Breathe. So you're pressing that shin or your knee into your hands. I'm going to draw the belly in. I'm going to take that knee away till my head lifts. And I'm just keep going here. Like if you can come all the way up, ooh, fun. But we're just coming back down, so no big deal. Whichever one. Take one more breath. And then release yourself all the way down. Take your arms down by your side. Extend this right leg up to the sky, even if it's bent, it's all fine. But start to roll this ankle. And as you move this ankle, friends, you can notice what's happening in your leg. Change direction. I do this, and I recall a memory. I have a friend who also teaches yoga. Came to one of my classes once, and I did this. Okay, flex your foot. Press up through the heel, draw your belly in, and then exhale, lower this leg down. And you release your breath through the mouth. And anyway, she didn't do it. I said, well, you can't roll your ankle. She said, I don't like it. I'm like, okay, well, doesn't matter. You need it. You want the ankles to move. If you've ever rolled your ankle, no. Okay, take your arms over your head, give a nice big stretch, stretch your fingers, stretch your heels away, and exhale, left knee into your chest, opposite, interlace the fingers, and maybe you hold on the shin or the knee, and we'll again start to move this in and out, but exaggerated. So you're pulling it in and you're pressing it out, and as much as the hands are there to support, the leg is really doing a lot of the work. Okay. Breathing, smiling. Such a simple thing here, but gratitude for the action. Okay, press this shin or knee into your hands till the arms become straight. Flex your feet, take the belly in, and then press away till your head lifts. And then you could just hang out here, or maybe you come all the way up, and all the way down, or you just rock and roll like, oh, beautiful, that's it. Who cares? Okay, one more breath, however you are. And then we'll release everything. Let's take a Pseudo Shavasana. I'm bringing my arms over my head, but yogi's choice here. Nice big breath. Okay, both knees are coming in. So take an inhale, extend, extend, extend. And exhale, bring your knees into your chest. And just rock and roll a few times. Both. Oh, I forgot to extend the leg. That's okay, I'm going to do that right now. Good. Okay. All right, well, let's do that. Come to your center, extend the right leg, lift the left leg up. Bring your arms down. See, my friend would love, I forgot the other side. Roll the ankle of the left foot. Watch it. Notice your leg, any movement. You know, the ankle, heel and hip connection. And then reverse this. Smile, soften your shoulders. Good. And then flex your foot, press up through the heel, both feet flex. Take the belly in and exhale, lower this leg all the way down. And then the minute it touches, we're going to take both legs up, knees into your chest. Good. Okay, we're going to rock and roll, friends. So whatever your rock and roll is, and if rock and roll doesn't feel good for your back, just roll to your side. Come over. Remember backwards somersaults? I feel like I almost did one right now.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, last one. And then we're just going to come up and just sit for a moment. Just let everything come. Feel your heartbeat, your vitality, your great presence. Good. Take one more breath. That's it. Okay, we're going to come back into child's pose. I'm going to bring my blocks to the front of the mat. We're going to kind of, okay. And then once you have your blocks in place, then move into child's pose really mindfully. And if that helped to go through cow pose or cat pose with the back arching, do that. But maybe you want to try through cat pose or cow pose with the belly dropping. So you take your pick, take a few moments, anchor the feet, the hands, the breath. And as you exhale, you'll take the hips back and extend into your child's pose. And just feel for a few moments here. You know, we did a little bit of something in between. Bend the breath everywhere you can. And one more breath. Good. Anchor your hands, come up through cow pose, so the back is arching up to the sky. And then find your neutral. Good. Take your hands onto your blocks. Bring your knees together. Yeah, and we'll step the right foot between the blocks, if that works. And then let's just take a little bit of this front to back motion here. So you can straighten the right leg as you come back. I'm going to tuck the left toes under just for stability and a little bit of anchoring for the knee joint. Ankle joint. Good. Okay. Let's take one more. And then we'll come forward into lunge. And here, friends, feel free to adjust. You know, if you need to walk your foot back or whatever you need to do. You're going to press the hands into the block. See if I can lift the heart. Take the belly in as if you're doing almost a cat pose. And then lift your head. Okay, I'm going to take the arms up if that works for you for stability. Squeeze the hips together. Reach up. And you could even, you know, come back a little bit if that works more over the left knee. Hug the hips. Okay, take your right hand, grab your left wrist if you're here. Pull that arm up. And then take that over to the right. Two breaths. Maybe the hips come forward, maybe they stay back. Keep your belly in for stabilizing. And then release. Take your hands down. We're going to lift the left knee up, and I'm going to straighten both legs. So you might adjust your stance. You can hop your feet in. You can walk your right foot out a little bit to the right. Now pull that right hip back. Press the left thigh back. Good. Okay, anchor the hands. Press your feet into the floor. Take one more breath. Good. Okay, a little bend in your right knee. Take the right foot back. even just one half a foot length. We're gonna lift the left leg up, guys. So be really strong on the right foot. You have the blocks. Just boop, lift the left leg up. Press it out, press it back as if someone's pulling on it. Press your right thigh back. Maybe your left arm wants to go in the air, but it doesn't have to. Take one more nice big breath in. And breathe out, hands on the blocks. Step your left foot beside the right foot. Inhale and exhale. Fold into here. You can keep your hands on the blocks if you like, or put them on the floor. Maybe you need to pedal your legs a little bit or bend your knees. Listen to your body. One more breath. Okay, let's come all the way up and let's roll up. So sit down in your legs, feel the tailbone dropping. And then really like you can let your arms hang or they can go onto your thighs. Just feel like vertebrae by vertebrae. Legs will straighten at some point, head will lift at some point. Pause here for a full breath. Inhale, reach up. Yeah, and we're just gonna hang out here. Stretch your arms, push the feet down, reach. Get longer, make yourself taller. One more breath. So full breath in to lengthen, full breath out. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, open the arms out to the side and hold. Find your blocks. Okay, so we're gonna go second side from here. I'm gonna put the left foot between the blocks, step the right foot back, and I'm gonna take the knee down. Yes. Okay, and then we'll just forward and back flow. And adjust your blocks if you need to bring them back a little bit. Feel in. You don't have to go that fast. Notice your body. Good. Let's take one more. Forward and back, and then we'll meet in the bending lunge. My right toes are tucked under. And just feel here, what's holding you up. When you squeeze your hips towards each other, lift your heart. Take one more breath. Okay, and then you can stay here or you reach up. Take your belly and find your stability. Find your grace, your joy. Then take your left hand, grab your right wrist, pull that arm up. Take the belly and get long, and then exhale and crescent this right arm over to the left side. Breathe here. One more breath. And then release your hands back to the blocks. And we're going to lift the back knee up, and you can adjust your stance here so that both heels are on the floor. You walk the left foot out to the left more. And then really anchor into your legs. Anchor into your feet. Let the jaw go, any extra tension. Breathe. Okay, now we're going to just put a little bend in the left leg. Pop that left foot back a little bit. Yeah, and then find your stability. I like to look forward, lift the heart, smile, and then lift your back leg. And as if someone's pulling on it, maybe someone's pulling on the left thigh. And then be here, or take the right arm up. And then embrace your grace. Oh, that might be the name of this class. Embrace your grace. Take one more breath. And then release your hand. Step that right foot beside the left. Inhale. And exhale and fold. Okay. Good. All right, so if you're stable here in your feet, meaning you feel like the heels are anchored, the foot's stable, maybe you can take a look at your feet, see if you can lift your arches. So you might have to lift your toes, but you can lift those arches up to the inner knee. Good. Okay, and then if you're very stable, maybe you take your arms and you just reach up to the sky. Tuck your chin. Take the shoulders away from the ears, reach. Good. And then exhale, release the arms back down, maybe to your blocks or to the floor. Bend your knees, look forward, and now take your arms up. Maybe we just go halfway. Maybe you reach up higher. Take 2 breaths. Keep the knees apart, friends. 1 more breath. And then exhale and fold. Good. Okay, I'm just going to move the blocks off the mat for a moment so you can step back to downward dog. And if you're feeling frisky, you want to give a little jump. You just jump your feet back. Take your downward dog. Anchor the hands, the heels. Take the shoulders away from the ears so everything is connected. And then inhale, lift your heels high. Then exhale, bend your knees. Stay here as you inhale. And exhale, find your child's pose. However you want to do that. Take your time. And just breathe and feel. You got it. Let it be a rest now for the next few moments we're here. Release, release, release. Okay. Inhale, round yourself up to your hands and your knees. And then take your knees underneath your hips. Tops of the feet on the floor. And we're just going to move through cat-cow. So just start with your, whatever you do with cat-cow. Just start to do that. Feel your breath. And what I want you to do here is maybe even close your eyes and feel deeply what part of your body is doing most of the moving. And it's probably the most flexible part of us, which is right around the midsection. Okay, so come to your stable table in the middle. Okay, now you're going to keep your lumbar, your sacrum, low back area stable. And we're just going to move from the waist up. So as you inhale, just start to lift your heart. Look up. And as you exhale, just feel like the heart is moving up and the head is dropping. So really focus on not moving your low back. You might draw your belly in just to kind of keep everything stable. Just feel this is really coming from the upper chest and the head. Good. And then wherever you've got it, whatever you're doing is good. Bring in the breath. Nice big inhale. And nice big releasing exhale. And let's just do one more. Come back to your stable table. Tuck your toes under. Walk your hands back. We're going to come back to this squat child's pose. So you just take the knees back and then feel free to move a little bit here, front to back. Okay, so we're going to come back onto your back, friends. Same way we did, so you know. So do the opposite hand now. So come back so you're still on your toes. One hand comes back, one arm lifts. Move the knees over to that side and then just until you're down, all the way down. Hug your knees in and just accentuate these rocking of the knees. So in and out. I'm actually not going to use my hands. I'm just going to put them down and just move the knees in and out. So we're really getting into this low belly every time you lift the tush. Good. Let's do 2 more. Good. And then come to rest. Take your feet to the floor. Good. Okay, we're going to put the hands underneath the tush. And they're going to be palm down. Maybe your thumb and your index finger are going to touch. So you're just going to lift your hips. Put your hands underneath your tush. Come down. And then feel your elbows on the floor. You're going to press them down so the heart lifts. And then just let the heart lift and come back down. So just kind of put the shoulders where they need to be. Good. Heel toe your feet to mat distance apart or nice and wide. Pigeon toe your feet and drop the knees in towards each other. Take a few breaths here. Good. We're just irrigating, filling all those spaces with fresh breath. At the same time, grounding the hands. Okay, last big breath in. Breathe out. Separate your knees. heel toe your feet together. And we're going to drop the knees out to the side into Vada Kanasana. And I know it might not be happy for you, but just smile and breathe. Squeeze the feet together if you need to anchor the hips, right? Hip and heel connection. Breathe, smile, release your heart, your shoulders. Good. Okay, last breath. And inhale, bring the knees back up. Separate your feet to hip distance apart, so not super far. Okay, we're going to bring the knees into the chest and extend the legs up. And so, if that's not happy, maybe you keep the knees bent. All fine. Okay, now, wherever you, even if they're bent, just imagine maybe there's an elephant sitting on your feet. And just as if you're pulling that weight from the soles of your feet down into your hips. And down into your hips, into your hands. Okay, and I'm going to add the legs here. So wherever you are, I'm going to keep the left leg where it is. On the exhale, lower the right leg down. Don't let it touch. Ooh, a little close to the wall. And then inhale, take it up. And exhale the left leg. And just move the legs. Draw your belly in. Go slow-ish so that you can really feel what's happening and where maybe you compensate. So if you know you have one leg not so connected, or I don't know, anything you have going on, just be compassionate. Good. Okay. I'm going to do one more. If you've had enough, you've had enough. Just put your feet down. Rest. You can even extend the legs. Okay. And then I have both legs extended. I'm going to lower them both down. Maybe I'll pause halfway. Smile. Go down. Maybe just before you touch the floor, you pause. And then come all the way down. Just keep your hands underneath your hips for one more moment here. So it feels so good when we take them out. Okay, take them out. And then just take your arms out, maybe like Shavasana arms. Feel into your hands, your wrists, everything there that receive. It doesn't always get. Good. Okay. Take your arms over your head. Let's take a nice big stretch. Maybe let's take the legs for a little walk. So if they stay on the floor, I'm just going to extend one leg away and then the other one. So it's really hip walking. The hips are moving to get the legs to do that. Good. Just do a few more. The arms might come in. It's all good. Climbing that ladder. Okay. And then just take a moment, like one full breath, do nothing. I'm going to bring the knees back in to the chest, and we're going to rock and roll again. So if that's no good and you're rolling to the side, just roll to the opposite side this time. And I'm just going to do a few more. Just rolling on your spine. Good. Okay, and then we'll just come up to sitting and maybe change the cross of your legs into your opposite cross. Beautiful. That's it. Yes. And then just feel, what other modality has us rolling around like that? So it's good work. You did wrestling. Okay. Good. All right. One more breath. Yes. All right, we're going to come back to hands and knees. Maybe it's a rollover on your knees, guys. I really bring the heels in nice and tight. And come up. I'm going to bring the blocks back in. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go back to child's pose. I'm going to use the blocks this time. So we'll put the blocks on their lowest height. And then you put the heel of your hand on the edge of the block. And you wrap your fingers around. Yes. Okay. Now readjust yourself as you need. Feel the tabletop. And then which one felt better, cat or cow? Find it. And release yourself into this child's pose. These extended arms. Let your head drop if it can. If it's not good, then don't do it. And then just breathe, breathe, breathe. So you're filling yourself up like a balloon. All the places that have opened. And one more breath. Good. Okay, we're going to come to downward dog. I'm going to keep my hands on the blocks. You want the blocks on your mat though, guys, so they don't slide anywhere. And if that doesn't work for you, then get rid of the blocks. Okay, so we're just changing this downward dog a little bit. Let's change it this way. Look at your feet. Let's take the right foot and either step it a little bit forward or a little bit back. So we're just taking a different non-linear dog for a moment, and then change. So put the right leg back, step the left foot forward or back, whatever you did. Take a breath or two. Notice. Good. And then we'll just start to walk the feet. No, let's not walk the feet. Let's stay in downward dog. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, take your knees to the floor. Okay, I'm going to step the left foot to the outside of this block. Boom. So it's a little bit wider now. Turn the toes out. Yeah. Okay, this is a little version of pigeon. So I'm going to just bring the blocks shoulder distance apart. And we'll just rock a little bit front to back here. This little bit of a wider shape. So your hips might love this. And you might feel like you're moving more to diagonal. Good. And the next time you come forward into lunge, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to turn and face you. Is I'm going to put my, put my forearms on the blocks. But if that's not going to work, you know, you put these blocks at any height and just come down. So you're kind of inside here. You can tuck those right toes under. And now I'm going to drop this left knee in and out, just waving it. Okay, so however this works for you, wherever height you have the blocks, let the left foot move. Good. Okay, bring the foot down, come back up onto your hands, lift the back knee, step the left foot back, and take the right foot to the outside, lower the knee down, and we'll just start with the front to back again. So you're just moving hips at a diagonal, breathing. You are exploring. Good. Okay, I'll come forward. Make any adjustments. Walk the right foot out. Bring the blocks up. See what happens once you come down. And then once you found your happy, in air quotes, and you're smiling no matter what, start to drop that right knee out and in. Good. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sole of the foot down. Come back up on your hands. Sweep that foot back. You're going to tuck the toes under. Bring the blocks with you as you come to sit on your heels. If this works for you, if you're happy here. If not, you can keep lifted. It's just all good. You know, you're doing it. Hard just throw bolster. Okay, I'm going to take these blocks either side of the hips. My hands on there, guess what's going to happen? You're going to lift up. So take the shoulders back, lift your heart, find the stability in your blocks, and as you inhale, just lift your hips. And then exhale, and come back down. And we'll do that 2 more times. So you just go with whatever works. I'm watching Heart try to figure it out. Whatever works, you know, you might not even need to lift up. You're getting enough from just sitting. Good work. Good. Okay. Take the blocks, release them, bring your hands back. I'm going to separate the feet wider, roll back. So now the feet are wider apart. I'm just going to do a few of this. What we've been doing. Yes. Okay, guys, I'm going to change a little bit of that roll around we've been doing. So one hand down, one arm lifts, move the knees. Okay, now you can come right onto your back, or you take this foot, plant it, bring your other leg out. Lift it, and now bring yourself down. Good, okay. As you come down, you can move your blocks. I'm gonna put both feet on the floor. Separate the feet, and we'll just do some windshield wiper, side to side. You can walk your feet nice and wide apart. Good. Good. Okay. Take one more moment. Good. Okay, guys. And then bring both knees into your chest. Hug them in and out. Guess what's happening now? We're gonna rock and roll. Maybe you'll rock and roll with your feet come over your head. Maybe, who cares? It doesn't matter. We're just doing the work, rocking and rolling. We'll do one more, and then come back to sit. And just pause for a moment. Just feel, I'm just gonna turn around, because we all probably need to turn around. Just take a breath. Good. Okay, I'm gonna roll over these knees again, come back to hands and knees. If that works for you, just tuck them in. Yes, I see you, 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 I see you. Let's go. Yes. Yay. Okay. Bend your blocks. Highest height. Everybody, highest height. Okay, bring your knees together, feet together. Right foot is going between the blocks. Boom. Yeah. Okay, lift the back knee up. Straighten your legs. Turn the left foot out a little bit, not so much. You want the heel more than the toes. Take the right hand. It's holding the block. Bring it back to about mid-shin. Then anchor the hand on the block. Left hand to your hip. Triangle pose. Look at your toes. On the right foot, can you spread them? Can you lift your arches? Both feet. Anchor the feet. Start to open. Okay, now I take this right hip, right thigh. I'm pressing it back. Take the left thigh back. Take the belly in. Open your shoulder. Good. And then reach up. Look up if that's okay. Look down if that's better. One more breath. Really use you're pulling the thighs back. Okay, release. Good. Okay, I'm going to bring that right block back up. I'm going to lift the back heel. I'm going to jump switch my feet. You don't have to do that, but if you're in it, just get a little buoyant. Jump switch. Okay, left hand, the block comes back. I'm going to turn the right foot out, so the heel's a little bit more than the toes. Look at the left toes, see if you can spread them. Even if you can't. For years, probably like 20 years, I couldn't spread them. Just happened in the last few years. Lift the arches, take your right hand to your hip, be in this halfway for a moment. Set the left thigh back, right thigh back, pull the hip back, take your belly in. Oof. Lift the shoulder, and then maybe lift the arm. Oh, just be here. Look up, look down, wherever you need to look. Anchor the feet. Be strong. Okay, release. Lift the back heel. Bring the block up. Okay, I'm going to come to downward dog. So I'm going to use the blocks. Put them on their lowest height again. You don't have to do that. Last downward dog. We're coming to pigeon, friends. So you could do this on your back if you're not happy. Otherwise, bring your big toes to touch. Yeah, we're going to lift the right leg up in the air. Woo. Reach up. And then bring that in. And you're going to place that right knee maybe to the outside of your right wrist. It might go to the inside. Left foot, left knee comes down. And I'm just going to walk that left leg back. Okay, I'm going to bring the blocks. Put your forearms on your blocks like we did before. Maybe lowest height. And then find some movement here. Just rock your hips, whatever you want to do. Move a little bit into this. Yeah. Okay. We're going to hang out here in this lift. So I take my elbows are in a little bit of the shoulders, but they're underneath the shoulders. I'm going to press down from the shoulders to the elbows, take the belly in. Maybe you find a little bit of cat pose. And then feel like your head is an extension of your spine. So, make it that what it is. Release your jaw. Let's just take a few breaths here. Deeply feel, receive, adjust as you need. Honor where you're at. Good. Okay, last inhale and exhale. Okay, now you can come back to hands and knees if you like. I'm going to take it back to downward facing dog. You take 2 breaths. Maybe you wag your tail just to release. And then we'll lift the left leg up. And then we'll stretch it. Oh, even on hands and knees you can do that. And then we'll find pigeon on the second side. And again, adjust. In my early days, I was taught that knee needs to be outside the wrist, but if your hips are very tight, that's not going to happen. So you have to work with what you've got. Okay, start to move yourself a little bit here. And then once you feel like, oh, okay, I've moved it up a little bit, ready, and come down. And again, on the blocks, I'm going to take the shoulders back and press into the elbows. Keep the belly in, and find this extension in the back of your neck, an extension of your spine. And then breathe. Okay, so this is your time to kind of notice, oh, this hip is more open than the other. I know why, or I don't know why, but I see you. Good. Okay, last breath. Okay. All right, so we're all going to come to hands and knees from here, unless you want a downward. That's up to you. Otherwise, we're here. Good. I'm just going to move the blocks out of the way. Walk the hands back, and we're going to come for our very last rolling over the ankles. This time, my knees are together because that's just how we came. I'm just going to rock front to back a little bit. We're going to do the opposite side of that little lift with the leg, if you're so inclined. Okay, so opposite hand down, maybe it comes in a little bit, lift your other arm up, roll the knees over. Now the outside foot goes flat, and you take the inside leg, stretch it out like this famous ice skater. Good. And then bring yourself all the way down, adjust your artwork, and all the way down. This time, maybe you come all the way down really slow. Good. Okay, once you're down, friends, take your arms out to the side. We're just going to bring the knees in. You're going to drop both knees over to the right. And then turn your head to the left. Take a few breaths here in this twist. You can put your right hand on top of your left knee if you like, or left thigh. Release, release, release. Melt, melt, melt. And it's the melting into the shape. You let the breath irrigate what has been opened. Now, I said after we finished our ohms at the beginning, I say feel into your vibrational energy. But feel it here. Good. Okay, nice big breath in. Begin the exhale and then start to lift the knees up. If you need a moment here to hug the knees, do whatever you need to do. And then on your exhale, bring the knees over to the left, turn the head to the right. And be there. Nice, beautiful breathing. The bridge is the breath. The breath is the bridge. The breath is the bridge. It is what irrigates, what feeds, what nourishes. It's the first thing we restrict when we don't want to feel. And that could be like, if you've ever broken a bone, the first thing you do is you stop breathing, and you might even pass out. That's what happened to me. But take one more breath. Honor the breath. Okay, begin your inhale, bring the knees up, and take the feet to the floor. You can stretch them out or keep them bent, grab your block, hopefully it's right handy. Okay, we're gonna put the block under the head. And I know most of you have done this, where we take the corner part of the block. I'm gonna put the block on its second height and put that corner piece right at the nape of the neck. So you feel like it is your skull that's resting there. You can hold on to the block. It's probably going to be angled a little bit. If that doesn't work for you, go lowest height. It's fine. You just support your head. You might even lift it up. You just want to have a little bit of pressure of the corner. And then just start to turn your head to the right very slowly. And you're looking for pressure. And once you feel that pressure, I'm even using my hands to push the block in a little bit and push the head in. And then breathe Smile. You can turn your head a little bit more to the right, find another place. And the smiling is going to soften the forehead and let the body know this is okay. Okay, take 2 more breaths on the right side. And if you're really feeling something, you want longer, stay. Otherwise, we'll bring the head very slowly to center because there's so much to feel. And then as you're ready, you do the same on the left side. So you're just looking for these places where things get a little tight, restricted. This craniosacral connection between the base of your spine and the crown of your head. So feel free to explore. Breathe. If you don't feel anything, then readjust your block, because I never met anyone who said they don't feel anything. Whenever you're ready, you'll bring it to center. And then maybe you just, like, I'm going to say shake your head no, but it's like a really slow no. No. Unless you're, what country was it hard that they shake their head no, but it means yes? European country. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Bring your head back. Okay, release the block to its lowest height, like a pillow. Rest your head on there, take your arms out. Just pause here. Feel into your vibrational energy. Good. Okay. I'm going to bring the legs into Vada Kanasana. And if you need support, you need your bolster. You could actually, let me pause, guys. I'm going to actually come up to sitting and we'll prepare for Shavasana. So maybe we'll do one last rock and roll to come up, or you can just roll to your side and remove the block before I rock and roll. And then just a couple of rock and rolls, maybe just to honor everything we've done. Okay. And then when you come up, let's set up for Shavasana, and we'll also take a few moments in Vada Kanasana. So a blanket for your head, if you like that, and a bolster for underneath your knees, if you like that. And anything else, some socks. So take a little sip. Once you're settled, everything you need. Okay, so I'll use the bolster to support the Vada Kanasana here. Once you're lying down, soles of the feet together, knees open. And then you can support your head a little bit more if you like by rolling in the ends of your blanket to make a little cushion. If you need higher support for your head. Okay. And then just rest here. But we did all this hip stuff, guys. There's a lot of hips. So really just let the hips rest now. You can even put your hands on your hip creases if you like, or on your low belly. And we did the hands underneath the hips. I said the thumbs and index fingers touch. If you bring the hands on the belly, you kind of try and find that too, even if the hands slide apart. So you can send the vibrational energy from our hands, our healing hands, into this body. Start to receive the breath as the anchor. Okay, so let's stay here. If you need to stretch your legs, you're going to do that at any time. I just want to guide your breath for a few moments. I want you to feel for this time as you're breathing. You feel your breath traveling along the front of your body, the back of your body, or maybe both. Just tune in. Just notice whatever your pattern is. I want you to start to feel deep within. So not the like the inside of your spine. Let's say that on the inside of your spine. Feel you can breathe along the inner face of the sacrum, up along the back of the spine to the back of the skull, and exhale that same pattern. Now I say inhale up, exhale down, but if for you it's different, it's fine. Bring focus to the inner body. If you can bathe that with the flow of your breath from the back of your skull, from the inside of the spine, to the inner face of your sacrum. Just be with that for a few breaths. And if you don't feel you're getting it, just imagine. And you can stay with that or release it. And you can keep your legs as they are or stretch them out and move yourself into your final rest. And you can stay with the breath awareness, but maybe you just need to not be with that for a few minutes, and that's beautiful too. Just rest in your stillness and in your quiet and in your resonance and in your power. Notice any tension, any stress. And for this moment, let it go. Carrying from any tension you're holding, your hips, your jaw, your heart, your third eye, backs of your legs, into your belly. Receiving this rest. Releasing yourself more deeply anywhere you can. Maybe letting your side be that entryway. Just get heavier. And stay here for as long as you like. Great gift we give ourselves to really be still. As you're ready, start to wiggle your fingers, your toes, your ankles, your wrists. And you might stretch your arms over your head, give yourself a nice big stretch. And bend your knees, place your feet on your bolster for a few moments, allowing the low back and the belly to almost take this baby cat. And if you wish to hug your knees into your chest, a little baby cow. And whenever you're ready, friends, we'll roll to the side. I'm gonna hang out there for a few breaths. Let the side magic happen. Pressing yourself up to seated whenever you're ready. Just take a few moments there to just be in the resonance and the quiet and the stillness and the joy. Let's start with the palms turned up and maybe the backs of the hands resting on the thighs, or if you're in that in-between place and you just need to feel that you're supported above and below, you lift the arms a little bit. Let's take one more breath here, just feeling your own energy. And inhale to lengthen. Exhale, bring the palms together, bow your chin to all that you are and all that you offer yourself, and your strength and your power, your intelligence, your experience, your great capacity for overflowing love. You are a vessel of love. That's what we are. We're a vessel of love. So into all of that, my friends, as you inhale, lengthen, and exhale this through your mouth. And we'll seal this practice with our May We Be Blessed mantra in one Om. And if you would like to turn on gallery view, go ahead and do that now. Otherwise, we'll just feel into each other as we do. Take a full inhale. May we be blessed with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be healthy, and may we be happy. We'll seal that with one Om. Inhale. Om. Take a full breath in. Breathe into your hands. Get your breath. Lift your chin, open your eyes, offer it to yourself. Yeah, all your goodness, all your love, everything. And then we'll offer it to each other. Yes. Okay. And then we'll take it back. And then you get to receive all of that from each other. Just take it in. That's some good medicine, friends. Can't get that at the pharmacy. So much love. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here, and happy Sunday. Have a great rest of this day, week. Take it easy, enjoy the weather, and see you guys soon. Thank you, everybody, for being here. So much love, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you soon.